Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Sunday, the 4th of September, and sadly, I bring you the news that Harry and Meghan have landed back in the UK. But on a plus note, it seems that the royal insiders within the walls of Buckingham Palace and the firm itself are actually finally hitting back. It's been alleged that insiders and sources close to the royal circles have now hit back at the couple and branded their attacks against the royal family as delusional and tragic. And the reason why they're doing this, it has been suggested by insiders, is it's all down to money, commercial interest in their brand. They believe that by bringing up fight after fight and continually dragging it out is of commercial interest and therefore money. What do you think? Do you think that this is their only tangible link left to the royal family? Their feud with them? And therefore that they're going to manipulate it in every way that they can because they know that it will get the column inches. And therefore that they know that they will get in the media. But the problem with that is that people will turn against them. Because there's only so much that you can say, isn't it, before you start looking like a bully with a vendetta. Apparently, one disgruntled palace insider told the Sunday Times that everyone hoped that they would go off to be financially independent, pursue their philanthropic endeavours and be happy. And that in that, going on their own way, they might no longer feel the need to rail against the system as much as they still do. But then the star power of them requires an association with the royal family. And the fuel on those flames is the family discord. And I think that they really do have a point. The only tangible thing that they have left is the fight with the royal family, which then looks really bad on them. They're going against the Queen herself. It may not be directly, but they're going after her firm. Sources also rubbished the claim in which Meghan said that South Africa celebrated her wedding like they had Mandela's release in her interview with the Cut magazine. And the source says the whole thing is just staggering. Nelson Mandela, who's next? Gandhi. There are simply no words for the delusion and tragedy of it all. Speaking of this whole Nelson Mandela walk to freedom analogy, newspapers have reached out to South Africans that had been in The Lion King. They've found 2 South Africans. Both have said, no, that never happened. One has never met Meghan Markle, and the other, who actually was there at the premiere, spoke to her for a few minutes, says, I never mentioned Nelson Mandela, don't know what she's talking about. So yet again, her lies are being called out. But it's not sticking, is it? She seems to have this Teflon coating, but she can say what she likes. But the media go after her, but it never really sticks. Only those that really truly follow it and dislike the couple know the real truth. Media seem to just gloss over it slightly. They report on the fact that they found these individuals that said it didn't happen. But then what? Which is why channels like ours are so important. The ones that bring us facts, the ones that look at exactly what's happening with the dynamics of the couple and the royal family and the media itself to bring exactly what is happening and not anything that's glossed over. But the more she opens her mouth, the more these issues will be talked about on a global scale. There was a very interesting article in the Sydney Morning Herald by a lady called Jacqueline Maley, who said, is it okay to switch sides in the Brexit wars? Asking for a friend, in which she says there has to be a German word for the phenomenon of switching sides in a cultural argument. And if there isn't, we need one because this week Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, achieved the post-colonial impossible. She made us sympathise with the royal family. She continues that with sadness, many of us have moved to the same side of the dispute as Piers Morgan. Never a comfortable position to find oneself in. Now, while I disagree with what was said there, I've always loved the royal family. It just goes to show that people are now questioning whether or not we, the people that were heavily against her and spoke back, actually right all along. Apparently they are now back in the UK and allegedly they have travelled commercial. Whether or not you buy that or not, I'll leave that one up to you. They're in the UK. Interestingly enough, they will not get police security during their trip to Manchester tomorrow. As you know, Harry is involved in a bitter court battle with the government ourselves, the Home Office, to demand that he gets the Royal Police protection. He's offered to pay for it, but of course we all know that the Met Police are not for hire. He's saying they should be. He's saying that as a prince, as the Queen's grandson, that he should automatically get that protection, irrelevant of whether he wants to pay for it or not. But reports are coming out within the last couple of hours to say that they will not be getting police protection in Manchester, and that they will have to use their own bodyguards during the trip. Interestingly enough, the papers are also reporting that the children are not with them either, so they've been left in California. They are attending the One Young World Summit. It's an organisation which promotes young leaders and brings together communities from across the world. She is expected to deliver a keynote speech at the opening of the 4-day conference, which is tomorrow. And a spokesperson for the Greater Manchester Police confirmed to the Mail Online that the couple's security is being privately secured. Apparently, they are staying at Frogmore Cottage, which is only a 15-minute walk to where William and Catherine have recently moved to. 15 minutes walk away, hey? But Palace insiders are saying, nope, there will be no meet-up. They will not be getting together. Fancy 15-minute walk away from your brother and you can't be bothered. Too busy. Which suggests that tensions are much more fraught than we ever imagined. But there's one person I feel for in all of this, and that's the Queen. She's 96. She's getting older. She's cancelling events left, right and centre, which is her right, to be perfectly honest. She's paid her duty. She's done her service. She's behaved impeccably. She has a right to put her feet up. But Palace insiders are now saying that it's taking its toll on the Queen, all of this sniping and bickering and jibing towards the royal family. It's taking the toll on the Queen, who basically is sitting waiting for the next nuclear bomb, they've said. This source has claimed that the Queen does not want to be on tenterhooks and is constantly waiting for the next bomb. Apparently Prince Charles is said to find the jibes to be painful, particularly after relations partly healed with the Sussexes. Well, that's going to be blown out the water now, isn't it? And apparently Harry and Meghan's jibes, well, it's not really Harry at the moment, is it? It's Meghan. But no doubt he will start up again because that's all really they have left to talk about. And it's not really gone down well with the monarchy themselves. Palace insiders have alleged that, noting that many questions with the couple, specifically Meghan, hoped to achieve by publicly detailing how awful it was to be a royal. And that is the crux of it, isn't it? She believes it was terribly awful to be a royal, that it was the worst part of her life. I'm sorry, what? Just think about that for a moment. To be in an incredibly privileged position and it be utterly awful. Which leads me to think that this is the only really brandable thing that they've got, which is slagging off the royal family. But it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost of betraying your family. It comes at a cost of not seeing your family. And it also comes at a cost that if you do it too much, people will then start to turn against you, because ultimately what you're really doing is just whining at a privileged life. Now, it seems at the moment that the world is all topsy-turvy. Here in Britain, we're going through a humongous cost of living crisis. Our gas and electricity bills are going through the roof. We're all very, very scared, all having to tighten our belts, and some families are fearing whether to heat their homes or eat this winter. And you've got to put this all into perspective. What exactly have they got to cry about, apart from their perceived perception of how they were treated in the royal family? Put it into perspective of what normal everyday people are going through right now, and that's nothing in comparison. These two are just privileged whiners who need to shut up, basically. Because the more they whine, the worse they look. The more they look and whine, the more people will start to realise exactly what is going on. Now, the Daily Mirror has just released an article which is titled Harry and Meghan have lost the final chance to visit the Queen, as it's now too embarrassing. They've alleged that the couple may miss their last chance to see the Queen if they do not make the trip to Balmoral while in the UK. And this royal commenter has claimed that the Sussexes would find it too embarrassing to face the 96-year-old monarch after a string of comments about the family. This source said it's too embarrassing for them. There'll be a hostile reception. Everyone will be on their guard duty. I think they've got themselves into a position where this could be their last chance because of their own publicity. Let's not forget, it was Meghan herself that claimed that just by existing, we were upsetting the dynamic of the hierarchy. The source told the Sunday Times that the couple's actions have been hard to reconcile with the Queen's belief, with insiders suggesting it's taken its toll, which I mentioned earlier. One told the newspaper it's hard to see how what they're doing would equate to the values of the Queen, who has never encouraged people to discuss deeply personal family relationships in public. Never explain, never complain has always been her motto. So could this be their last chance to reconcile with the Queen? I'm hearing rumbles that the media in the US are reporting on them slightly differently and that they're facing a little bit more pushback than they would have normally done, which I'm happy with, to be quite honest. I think more people need to push back and actually challenge them on the lies that they tell. Thomas Markle has also spoken out with this jibe, which was confusing. First of all, they thought it was at Harry and at Charles, where he said that I'd lost the parent, and then Omid Scooby snapped back and said, no, she meant Thomas Markle. Thomas Markle has piped up and said, Meghan didn't lose me, I'm not lost, she dumped me. And he hits out at her claims and accuses her of showing no compassion to the ailing Queen as she constantly throws the royal family under the bus. Thomas Markle says every time she opens her mouth, she brings me into it. He also added that he isn't lost and Meghan could find him and his number at any time because it hasn't changed. And he'd also love to meet his son-in-law and his grandchildren for the first time. So this is the thing, isn't it? Is that she's alienated her father, completely shut him out. And she's trying to do the same for the royal family and Harry because of this constant attacks. At what point do they say enough is enough? Have they said it yet? I don't think they have. At what point do they say stop it now and remove their titles? Because it can't continue like this. They can't continue to use a brand of derogatory comments, of attacking, as their sole selling point. So their whistle-stop tour of Europe. Tomorrow, they will visit the Manchester for Young World Summit, where Meghan will address the opening ceremony. Then on Tuesday, Invictus Games, 1 year to go ceremony in Dusseldorf. And then on the 8th, which is Wednesday, it's the Well Child Award. So I would love to know your thoughts on all of this. How do you really think the Queen is feeling, having her family constantly attacked? She's always championed Harry, and she made it very, very clear that she still loves him very much because she is his grandmother. But at what point do you think, I can't do this anymore? What do you think of them not getting the UK security and that they're having to use their own personal private security? I'm so glad that's happened. I really, really am, because it sends a direct message to Harry. You can't always get what you want. And finally, what do you think of Thomas Markle speaking out? Do you think he has every right to speak out against what was said about him? Or do you think, we've heard enough already? What do you really, really think? And finally, what do you think about this whole dynamic of brand toxic and brand attack the royal family? Is it tangible, or will it just turn people more and more towards the royal family with sympathy and against Meghan and Harry? And how will Meghan and Harry feel about that? And what do you think they will do about that? Will they attack more, or will they retreat into their little Montecito? I say little, it's not really, is it? It's humongous mansion in California. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.